Pleasure to meet all at last, and well, we're back at it again with more HJN Season 5. So for this instance, what we're going to do is take a look at some more animals, because I've covered 4 of them so far, and now that I'm on to my 5th one, for number 2784, we're going to be talking a bit about the antelopes known as gazelles. So, of course, what I will have to say is that gazelles, they're antelopes for the most part, and they were described as far back as the 1750s, with some early specimens of the gazelles mainly pertaining to the likes of something known as Capra dorcas, which was originally put together by a man known as Carl Linnaeus in 1758. Of course, the genus Gazella was originally described by another person known as Henry Marie Durocote de Blainville in 1816, which of course was over 200 years ago. So the name gazelle basically stuck from that point on. As an antelope, it's pretty similar in a way to certain other genuses out there, and of course, other animals as a result of it. Certain other animals of its own grouping and groups in familiarity with the antelopes also do consist of the Neslotronini and the Panthalopini. So that is, of course, just as a few examples, because there's a lot of them, as it seems. A lot of relatives to the gazelle, as it turns out. And while the gazelle is not exactly the same thing as the deer, moose, or elk, it still does bear a lot of similarities, knowing that it has hooves instead of paws. As an example, they also do usually have pretty short tails, which a number of animals like it are known to bear. The white-tailed deer, of course, being really common out here in the States, but with the gazelle, you can't exactly expect to find it as much. There, of course, are gazelle appearances mostly in the likes of the African savannas, the unique biome in which that they are known to thrive the most commonly. Although they have actually been featured in various zoos and other habitats across the United States. And I feel like a good amount of examples would have to include the Milwaukee Zoo in Milwaukee, and there's even similar ones out there, like the gazelle, at the Shalom Center near Kewaskum, Wisconsin. So, and being that I actually went there not too long ago, I could see myself talking about some of the animals that were featured over there, but not too many are entirely worth mentioning here. But in all seriousness though, while the gazelle is known for its diet mainly being a herbivore, like many others out there of its type, it does unfortunately fall victim to a number of different predators. The cheetah, for instance, which can run pretty fast, and is typically made for the possibility of lunging only when the gazelle is tiring down, depending on what they're doing. While typically you might find gazelles in groups, often running along the savannas, there might be the occasional straggler that might stray off from their own group and end up getting picked off by a predator. Not just the cheetah, but there's also the crocodiles that can live in the water and come out of the water to grab them by the leg and drag them. And while there are certainly many other animals to worry about when it comes to having the life of a gazelle, I could even talk about the fact that there's this ongoing web series known as Why It Sucks to Be Born as an Animal. That's pretty much what I unofficially call it, but it's a series of videos that explain why it sucks to be born as certain animals, like hyenas or insects or rats. Basically all that stuff, and it's becoming pretty popular as of today. So whether you want me to talk a bit more about that series or not exactly up to it at this point, but all in all, the gazelle does thrive pretty successfully in many different ways. And while it's not entirely as abundant as the likes of deers or elk or mooses, or I might as well just say meese, like geese, but with an M, of course. Anyways, though, that's all I got to say about the gazelle entirely, and I'll be back tomorrow with a lot more on the line regarding animals. So I'll see you guys then.